Hi, happy Wednesday. I need to have a ramble. And I already have done. I've just ranted for a good half an hour, but I just want to share it sometimes. I just hate the polarity and the joke of life sometimes. And and sometimes, and I've said this loads of times before, who gives a shit, but all the bloody, the high vibes, everybody. And I get it, and, I'm a proponent for that, but today I'm fucking irritated, I'm irritable, and I'm a little bit pissed off. And it's nothing in particular, and it's an accumulation of little bits of shit, and it's my fault that I've not processed and addressed these little annoyances, but just like whatever I've seen or heard or experienced today has annoyed me. And again, these individual pieces of pissed on breadcrumbs, as Matt from Quantum of Conscience says, that they throw out there for us, it's all designed to get us into an emotional state. And I know that, and I can usually detach myself from, such entanglement. And I'm genuinely not interested in the election or what's going on, but seeing certain things, bearing in mind I don't have Instagram, I don't have Facebook or any of that, so this is literally bits of crap or stories from school mums, or the very few people around me, or a bit of shit off YouTube I've watched. But anyway, so this story today, that this guy, I don't know if he's the boss of the FA or something, the Football Association over here, but he's been fired today because he said coloured. He said coloured when he was, my teeth are so discoloured. Oh, he said coloured, but he was talking in a context, to acknowledge the discrimination and the at times unfairness that people of colour, because you can say it that way, people of colour have experienced, and he was acknowledging that. Apparently this chat was about diversity and fairness in the FA, right? So this guy was intending, his whole thing was about acknowledging discrimination, but he said coloured. Personally, I won't choose to use that word, but I don't find it offensive. Fucking hell, and again, should I even have an opinion because I'm not a person of colour? I don't know, but I just hate how everything is being used. It's like, golly. And this guy apologised straight after. There was a little gimp sat in the front row, some MP going, did you realise you just said coloured? Do you want to retract that? And now he's been fired. And it's like, it's actually a thing that this political correctness and this culture hijacking, it's actually happening. So that's why it's annoying. I've done loads of videos about this before this crazy year of chokehold, of suppression of every kind you can imagine. Oh, fuck me, what a year, what a bloody year. But it's actually happening. So it's annoying. Politically correctness, and it annoys me so much that I have to watch myself, because it makes me want to be the opposite. It makes me want to be ferociously politically incorrect, whatever. It makes me annoyed as fuck. Everything should be about context and intent, and all this cancel culture now, and people shaming each other, and the fact that people are falling out about such irrelevancies in the grand scheme of things, especially on a journey of betterment. I can't believe what's happening. Luckily I've got no mates anyway, so there's no one to fall out with me, but I've people are telling me that, you know, people have fallen out with him because they, you know, they wanted Trump to win the election, or they're questioning the narrative on this, or that, you know, and it's just disgusting. I'm sick of it. And I just got this vision, this image earlier, and it was just like, you know, when it's so suffocating, it's like, I guess it is for us to, you know, who are not controllable, to be even more fierce in a way. But I just sort of had this image of just like the collective consciousness, or just Earth, you know, wherever it is. It might just be my little area of the Earth here, where it's particularly suffocating and where people don't even know what their own opinion is. So, you know, one day it's like, because I felt quite good the other day, because I was like, I came up from school, I was like, oh, there were some more people without masks on. And I knew it was because, you know, I was brave enough to go without a mask on, you know, to be the first one, and so was Mark. And then, you know, people, after speaking to him, they're like, well, yeah, you know, I don't want to wear it. I'm not going to wear it, you know, I'm in the outside, I'm a free human person, it makes no sense. They just need somebody brave enough to say that, you know, alternative opinion, that other narrative. I'm always brave enough to do that. I don't give a shit. I do not give a shit. And I think it's because of this awakening and you know, everything that unravelled from then on, you know, with my journey of my soul's evolution, my consciousness, and the you know, the very real perceptions of you know, persecution or just sort of ridicule for having certain opinions that are out of the box. I've got over it now and I don't care. But I feel like, yeah, it's just like, yeah. So it's like, Mark dropped the kids off this morning, and then I'm like, he's like, oh, Rich had a mask on again, and Lindsay had a mask on again, and I'm like, oh, it just annoys me, because it's just like they don't even know themselves, and it's not their fault, again, but it's like, wear it or don't, but just fucking stand by it. Stand by, I don't know. Have an opinion. Don't be so easily swayed. People are so easily swayed, you know, by me as well. And I don't even want to, I don't necessarily, or maybe I do. This is what we were talking about this morning. It's like you want to break the spell on people, don't you? I did it to my dad the other day, and it was a beautiful moment. Like, I think my dad has definitely travelled with me in prior lives as well. So has my mum. So is everybody in my life. Like, there's awareness of very old connections to, and certain thorns in the side. You know, we've all played these different roles. And my mum and dad came round the other day, and they were going to stay in the fucking garden. And my dad was like, he wouldn't look me in the eye, and I was thinking, I need him to look me in the eye. So I said, what are you doing? Because my mum had said, for God's sake, she'd come in and given everyone a hug and that, and it was just so lovely. And he was still stood outside having a fag, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, I'm just doing my best, doing what needs to be done, doing what I can. And I just looked across at him and said, who for? Like, you're just virtue signalling. And he smiled at me and walked inside. And then he came inside and he was hugging the kids and stuff. And it was like, in that moment, it's like I broke the spell. But also he looked at me as if, correct, you know, almost like I'd passed the test, and he was kind of having me on. So it's weird. Things are feeling quite trippy and multidimensional at the minute, but yeah, I'm just sick of it. I did a video a couple of years ago about this sort of, I wanted to talk about this suspicion that I had in the spiritual community of this oneness and unity consciousness and all that. And why I was feeling it at the time is sort of what's happening outside at the minute as well, in this strange takeholder of consciousness and stealing of thoughts and opinions. And, you know, it's this, I had to write it down. Mark told me how to best word it earlier. Emotionally flattening of values. That it's like an emotional form of fascism where everyone has to feel the same, otherwise it's hateful. You know, it's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. And it goes on in the spiritual community as well. It's like, I mean, seriously, like unity, and obviously I don't think right now I'm sat within unity consciousness. I'm definitely feeling the polarities. and the duality of myself and my mind and my own bullshit, you know, but I'm speaking it out here. Anyway. But unity consciousness doesn't come with rules and judgments, does it? It doesn't come with, you know, you're not spiritual because of this, or you're not accepted because of this. You can't, you know, we all have to feel the same. We all have to homogenize. And it's like oneness as a concept. That unity consciousness, it's above that judging and dividing and bullshit. It's above that. And so the whole sort of, the whole feeling of oneness in terms of everyone having to be the same, homogenizing, flattening views, opinions, and what can we say now, what can't we say? It's also, you know, it's also fucking chokehold and it's suffocating. I'm sick of it. Oosh. Imagine being fired for saying, like, coloured in a context where you're really trying to throw light onto discrimination between races as well. And really, it's just, I really hate how all these things are being thrown out and deliberately manipulated. And we all have, you know, a chip on our shoulder or a certain trigger somewhere in us. And so take your pick, you know, they're all out there. But everything in this realm is projected. This is, and funny, yeah, I did a little video yesterday about it. I can't be asked to really go into it, but I was having these thoughts about the flat earth and the astrology and the timing of everything, and just how the projections are the wizardry, the trickery, and everything is a projection down here. And yeah, fuck's sake. Let me see what else I've got. Globalization, homogenizing, and the hypocrisy of it as well. You know, it's like, like obviously with this transgender agenda and the transhuman agenda, you know, we're all going to turn into these fucking genderless, sexless, opinionless, naked alien robots or something. Oh, I'm sick of it. Who wants that? I fucking don't. Let this now be my fucking, this is my speak out to the universe, to me in my realm. I do not want that. I was watching a video earlier that popped up about the new Apple Mac or something, and apparently it's twice as fast. It just popped up in the background. And it just triggered me. I'm like, I don't want this. There's this woman standing next to a flat screen or some fucking invisible projector showing us the features on the new Mac, and she's in this white wall with big white room with windows everywhere, and you don't know if the scenery behind is real or hologram or projected. And I don't want that. I don't even like Siri on the phone or anything like that. Like, the interference is astonishing. I'm fucking sick of it. And like, I was just laughing this morning. I'm like, I don't want one of those houses, those worlds where it's like, where you come in, it's like, whoosh, open the door with your hand, whoosh, Siri, Alexa, turn the lights on, turn the radiators on. It's like, ugh, that is so disgusting for me. Play some classical music. And it's, again, it's not to, I'm judging, but I'm trying to make myself laugh. I don't want that, you know. You robot Hoover going around in the background, everything's whitewashed and invisible, you know, megabytes and holograms, and nothing's actually there. But that's what's going to happen, and people will it in, they want it in, and we're drip fed it and giving it, and we're all fucking wanking over it. And I'm just like, God, I'm going to have to move to a fucking rainforest or something by the time I'm 40. Oh, nearly vomited then. Whoosh. The whole world is controlled and manipulated, whether consciously or subconsciously. And it's just suffocating, frustrating, you know. And it's all coming to the surface, you know, the individual me and the collective purging of all this bullshit. And the polarities will have to be more grotesque and obvious for the people who are not aware yet to become aware of it. So I know it's going to get worse, and I shouldn't expect it not to, you know, on the outside world. And again, switch off the technology, switch off the tech, and none of it even exists. It's mental. Golly, What have I got here? Oh, I've been seeing loads of number synchronicities, so that's nice. That always makes me feel good, because that's definitely when you're in a slightly altered state of consciousness, a little bit higher, you know. Well, and you can still feel like shit in high vibration, by the way. But yeah, illusions run the world and create the reality. Alexa, Siri in the fucking futuristic world. I want no part of it. TV, media, politics, money. Now the internet, yeah. It's the interference on the free world that is so suffocating for me. It's like, you can't joke about what you want. You can't say what you want. You can't even, and obviously there's the whole vaccine push at the moment over here. It's like, oh, Pfizer has a 90% effect. And like, honestly, I would be here all day if I start talking about it. I'm not having it, and that's the end of. But just the disgusting presumption that we should have it, that everybody should have what you think is right. The interference is so shocking. And it, you know, this whole coronavirus thing, as enlightening and tragic as parts of this year have been for me in both parts, what it has done for me is thrown so much light on the medical corruption and the medical interference, and I am just sick of it. I am livid, and I can't believe that I was under the illusion, I was under the spell of it as well before, you know, before my awakening. Blindly getting vaccines, fucking, you know, just spouting shit that I'd read in a newspaper or seen on the news as if it was fact. How ridiculous, you know, but this is the predominant overlay that we are sat within at the minute. But the interference on the free will is astonishing. Not just the vaccine bollocks, not just that, the politically correct shit, the 79 genders, zai, zooza, and all this. It's like making us feel guilty for being a man or a woman. Everything being twisted and pinned against each other. Almost everything that is shown to us is twisted, distorted, and upside down and back to front. It's really quite wild, you know. Oh, man. But anyway, and the programming continues, and this is why it's so frustrating, because until people, I don't know, have that aha moment themselves, or they reach their peak of shit and they eventually have this chance of awakening, the takeover will continue, you know, because it just is, because people have no opinion of their own. They have no information aside from what's given to them through these obvious narrow streams, you know, mainstream media, newspapers, these trusted people on the telly. They're all fucking liars. They're all reading off scripts, and, you know, again, that doesn't have to necessarily be scary, sinister either. It's just it's, you know, it's just, golly, gosh. But anyway, yeah, so I was feeling this morning like just, it's like, it feels like swampy goo everywhere, and that there's a few people that are just continuing to express themselves and not be controlled and scared into silence and suppression by, you know, fear of being sacked over saying the wrong thing, or, you know, being outcast from your spiritual group because you like Trump, or, you know, or the other guy, you know, whatever. Like, oh, golly, it's just so... It's just we eat it up, and I've eaten it up, and that's why I'm annoyed today. So I need to go and meditate, and I need to cheer myself up, and, you know, wonder why this irritation is within me, because, yeah. But anyway, I just don't like it. I don't like how the world is going, how the predominant overlay would like the world to go. I realise that we have control over, you know, free will and choice is always something that we've got. It's always what we've got. The rest is illusions. And suppressing our expression is ultimately our fault. It's our mental prison. I've suppressed my expression for too long. I was having a little think to myself. It's like, I've done all these videos in the last week. And I've not posted him because I've been between these two polarities again of just being like, who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? Like, mainly I'm doing this for myself because, like, I would vomit if not. But then the other side goes, but are you being responsible? Are you saying the right thing? Again, this illusion of, you know, being outcast or rejected or thrown away. If you dare to think out of the box, please let's think out of the box. That's what's happening. It's like the picture of the sludge with just a few people, like, sticking their hands out. Da, 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 da. You know, a few people have still got autonomy, but they're not everywhere, and we need to keep being brave. And it's like, I feel like we're always like looking down the trenches like, come on up, it's safe to take off your mask, it's safe to say what you want, it's safe to say if you don't think COVID is real, it's safe to say if you think the earth is flat, it's safe to say whatever. It really is, unless you're in China, which is pretty fucking fucked, innit? And, you know, the reality is that if everybody just goes, oh, fuck, shut up, fuck off, you know, I'll just carry on saying what I want, because as long as I have a good intention, and I don't want to offend anyone. Sometimes I think to myself, oh, I've sworn so much in this video, I must have offended somebody. And it's like, I'm only ever going to offend myself, really. That should all be, not all that should be that matters to me, you know, that's a bit selfish, but can we not just be who we are? Lay off ourselves. Look at my bloody brown teeth. Lay off myself. Oh, yeah. It's 11:11 today, and it's 11 o'clock right now. Yeah. Whoosh. It's that time of the month, you know, I could blame that, but why would I? But anyway, I'm just giving myself permission to pass through this little energy. Ugh, Christ, like Princess Anne. Ugh, bye.